I think there was a problem which
All right, so we are live. Hello, welcome, Dr. Gaurav. Thanks a lot for taking the time. Really appreciate you taking the time away. I know you're running around. Just got done with like a surgery, right? And then you came back home, just took time for this session. Appreciate that. Just for the audience, hi guys, this is Ayush Gupta, your host, and this is the Healthful Diaries team. Welcoming you to this live session with Dr. Gaurav Gangwani from Mumbai area, and we'll be in India. And today is July 1st, 2022. It's a Friday. It's a National Doctors Day. The Healthful Diaries team is celebrating doctors, the field of medicine, all medical professionals, and we wanted to talk to multiple different doctors. Right now, we're talking to Dr. Gaurav, who's an interventional radiologist, has a very successful growing career, and he has graciously taken some time, a few short minutes out of his busy schedule to just give us some insights and share with his perspective on what does it mean to be a doctor, some challenges and how to cope around for young doctors and medical students to create a career in their field of choice. Okay, so thanks, Dr. Gaurav. Let's jump right in. Okay, what do you, when we say National Doctors Day, first of all, happy National Doctors Day. What do you mean by that? Because I mean, the name suggests itself that it's something about doctors. Yes, it's something positive. Yes, but what does it really mean in practice when we say National Doctors Day?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for this invite, and I'm very happy that people are taking this initiative to the side of doctors besides the expectations that is generally on us in terms of treating patients. So we are talking about insights for growth of young doctors and about Doctors Day. So I'm very grateful that now this initiative is started. So special thanks to the Healthful Diaries team. And as far as Doctors Day is concerned, this day was started on the first national on the birthday or the birth anniversary of Dr. B.C. Roy, Bimal Chandra Roy, who was a physician at that time, and he was known for his ethical values and his work competence. And I think that is what it signifies, that a profession where the profession competent and trained else's life in their hands. Second, not looking at the profession in terms of just economic growth or just career growth or appraisals, but rather than that, looking in terms of uh, so I think it's a day where we come back and look at our vows, look at our oath that we take when we become doctors, look at the legendary doctors who have given up their lives, whole lives for patients, for, and we really did that, and we again go back to our roots and keep the thing. For me, it is to and
Yeah,
work in that manner.
yeah, yeah. Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Only when you mentioned it, I noticed that something.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. On and one. All right. So we are back at it, Dr. Gaurav. Thanks a lot. We just a slight little technical glitch. But yeah, thanks a lot for sharing about National Doctors Day. Think not a lot of people would know when it started, how it started, National Doctors Day. And you very rightly said um, it's a day when we should remember, not just as a doctor, but also to people who are not non-medicos, about the commitment that it takes to actually take or responsibility of another person's life on in your hands, or another person's well-being in your hands, and also the willingness to actually go above and beyond, put your personal needs and your family's needs at many times at a second priority, and your work and helping others as a priority, first priority, right, for others. That's great. So thanks a lot for sharing that. So now, for young doctors and medical professionals, or any medicine student who's just out getting out of MBBS school, they're all passionate about it. They really want to go out in the field, and they want to create an impact. They want to start their own career, also want to get into dealing with real life challenges that many times they may have dreamed of, or they may have studied, but now they're going to face them in practice.
Hmm.
What do you think, how they should prepare themselves mentally, and also in terms of their health, or in terms of their calendar schedule, in terms of their finances or their career planning? How should they prepare themselves? It's a loaded question, I know, but whatever aspect you can touch, that'll be great.
Yeah, sure. So it's a very, very valid and needful question of the hour, because a lot of challenge comes to junior medicos who are either undergoing graduation or just passing out from graduation. The first challenge is the amount of competition that is there. So I remember around 2000, when we started MBBS, we knew that we through our 5.5 years of MBBS and internship. And once we complete internship, we have to prepare for the next postgraduate entrance examination. But now, when I see the newer batches that are entering MBBS, they, of course, they have to give a very competitive entrance to. And from that point, the moment they enter the first year of MBBS, immediately they start preparing for their entrance examination for post graduation, which is after 5.5 years. So without having the basic agenda of learning medical stuff, opening up cadavers, learning anatomy, human anatomy, learning the vast world of pharmacy and biochemistry. Rather than all that, the only pressure in their mind is how will MCQs after 6 years and beat the competition to get a better post graduation seat. And all
Hmm.
while not having any exposure to these post graduation subspecialties. So many times maybe a student studies and gives this entrance after his graduation, and he gets one of the top nation. He doesn't even know what he wants to choose or what is his liking. Rather, that rank, what is the most common subspecialty chosen, and he comes to know, okay, surgery or radiology is the prime specialties, and they go on top 50, and he just chooses it without even understanding his temperament, whether he is meant to be a physician, or whether he likes to see kids and be a pediatrician, or whether he has a surgical skill set. So without even apt exposure, he rather chooses it on basis of logistics and the peer reviews. So uh, that is the second challenge. And finally, once these junior medicos go out into the world after completing their MBBS, after completing their post graduation, and sometimes even after fellowships, they enter the outside world and they learn that they cannot work, because most of the places there is a huge hierarchy of senior head of departments to senior associate consultants to attending consultants, senior registrars, and finally this junior new guy fresher gets in, and he's told that you will have to toil with all of them and do the basic hard labor for the next 6 years before you start doing some independent practice of your own. And if he does think that, okay, I won't go into this hierarchy system, let me start private practice myself, then he doesn't get any attention or any patient referral, because people want to see gray hair when it comes to doctors. So nobody wants to see a fresher doctor with not that much of an experience, even if the doctor would have been competent, even if he's trained from the best institutes. So when he's in the best institute, he's passing from AIMS and he thinks I am from the first best, the top institute of the Apex, and I'm going out and I'll have a load of patients for myself, or I can even open my own hospital. And he suddenly realizes that even if I open a small clinic or OPD, I'm not getting any footfall. Patients just want to go to doctors who are there from the past 8 years, 20 years. And with newer and newer platforms coming in like Practo and Pristine Care and Glamio, so all that culture is only getting more and more wide, where everybody is now digitally seeing the number of years of experience before choosing a doctor. So
Yeah.
all these challenges are there, and then convince your peers to refer cases to you. Again, that's a whole lot of challenge amongst competition. There's a lot of saturation in the city areas. So with so many challenges, right from them to going out and actually practicing in the real sense. That is, there are a whole lot of hurdles that these guys face. And by the time they understand what is the right way to go about it, they are already 40, 42. And that is when the real practice starts. So we always joke that doctors usually start earning for their children and their grandchildren, not for themselves, because by they are already 60 and they think about retirement. The last topic I would like to touch upon is financial education. Unfortunately, doctors do not have financial or legal education, and that is why, while most of our technical counterparts, our friends who take up engineering or entrepreneurship, while they learn so much about finance beginning and they understand the power of compounding and early investment, most of the doctors complete their education by the time they are 32, 33. And sometimes even after that, they have to continue medical education, including fellowships and further degrees. So they are not even in a position to start any kind of investment at that point, and neither do have the training or the particular education of the power of compounding and early investment. So that's another challenge that's there. And legal issues, we always see that a doctor is sued for no particular fault of his due to some
Mm.
misunderstanding or miscommunication, and he does not have a legal aid or indemnity covered because he was never aware of getting that kind of aid for himself or herself. Another challenge. So I definitely feel that these young doctors, besides studying for entrance exams right from the beginning, they should have some training in communication so that they learn how to communicate all the about the diagnosis, the prognosis, and deal with patients. They learn a lot about financial and legal aspects. Somebody trains them in them, and of course, they learn about how to grow once you are outside. So, how can doctors collaborate? How can they do digital marketing? To how can they create awareness and help patients while, of course, growing themselves in career? So, I do feel that they should have all these exposures besides their studies, which is of course vital. These should be there as support.
Yeah. I, there are so many aspects to what you said, and I have a lot of questions. So maybe we'll just start with one or two, and then we'll see where we
Yeah,
go. But
sure.
I would like to add to what you mentioned that at that age, from my personal experience with many young doctors or MBBS graduates, and who are either PGs or studying for PG or just graduate from PG as well. In my experience, I've seen that they have so many things going on in their own personal lives with
Right.
either when you are at the age from, let's say, 27 to 33, in those 6 7 years of age group, you are dealing with wanting to be on your own, wanting to get out of your parents place, especially in India, right, and wanting to get more exposure and experience through jobs, professional jobs, while preparing for
Yeah.
your entrance exams or while applying for jobs and networking. At the same time, you have your own personal life, so you also want to start a family eventually. Many people are struggling with that, right? And then there are a lot of these political challenges that come now. I heard there were issues with many government owned hospitals and organizations not paying their doctors enough, or not paying their doctors at all for months at a go, at a stretch, right? After some people are getting paid after 3 months, some people are getting paid after 8 months. And then there's another aspect of changing how entrance exams work. So some students are now having to think about giving exit exams after their MBBS and then
Mm.
preparing for entrance exams in a different way, different model. So all these changes are happening. So all these changes, in the midst of that, in the midst of that, they have to look at what you mentioned about their personal preferences, with which field they have to go through, their challenges with in terms of growing through their career, bureaucratic issues or issues with dealing with stigma and stereotypes of how a doctor should be, collaborative issues, anything like that, financial issues, legal issues, and understanding of that kind. Um, so there's so much happening. Let's start with one. Um, when you go through those 5 years of MBBS, don't you think we can do a better job of getting an idea of which field I want to go for when I graduate from MBBS? Because after 5 years or 5.5 years, I should have some idea of my top two priorities, right? Isn't that the case? Aren't most MBBS graduates already aware of where they want to see themselves in the next in the for the rest of their life?
Unfortunately, many of them are not, because, like I said, because as soon as they enter MBBS, the first load that they are given is the next entrance examination, and they enter
Mm.
that rat race. And from that point on, it's all about MCQs and um, attending coaching classes, taking digital courses for preparing for the entrance, and it's completely they are zapped into it. We and So nobody is now interested in a lot of clinical rounds, in going and talking to patients, attending patients. uh, More of it is becoming formality sake, and very less clinical exposure is there, of course, due to personal interest, also because of this environment that has been formed. That needs to change, because only when they don't have this pressure right from the beginning, I feel, till the final year, maybe before internship, they should not be stressed about the next entrance examination. That should maybe come with the exit examination, or with the understanding of that particular subspecialty. But they should just be allowed to get all the 19 subject rotations that are there, 19 subspecialties and some super specialties. And only only when they work will they start understanding their own temperament, their likings, their skill sets, and they will be able to make a choice on what subspecialty they would like to choose. So that that definitely needs to change. Oh, rather than just entering and going into the MCQ mode, into books, they should be allowed to freely learn, grow. And once they think about excellence, I'm sure they would do better in terms of entrance also.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think your son needs you, right?
Yeah.
Feel free. Yeah, we can just pause right now. We'll just, I know, because you've taken,
I'll let,
appreciate that. Yeah, you will take
I'll
some
let
time.
just
Take.
take a 2 minute break. Yeah. Yeah.